A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. Mary Magdalene stayed outside the tomb weeping, and as she wept, she bent over into the tomb and saw two angels in white sitting there, one at the head and one at the feet, where the body of Jesus had been. And they said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" She said to them, "They have taken my Lord, and I don't know where they laid him." When she had said this, she turned around and saw Jesus there, but did not know that it was Jesus. Jesus said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you looking for?" She thought it was the gardener and said to him, "Sir, if you carried him away, tell me where you laid him, and I will take him." Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned and said to him in Hebrew, "Rabboni," which means teacher. Jesus said to her, "Stop holding on to me, for I have not yet ascended to the Father. But go to my brothers and tell them, I am going to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God." Mary went and announced to the disciples, "I have seen the Lord," and then reported what he had told her. The Gospel of the Lord. Today we continue to celebrate what we call the Octave of Easter. The 8 days of this great Easter celebration. And then after this octave we continue the Easter season up through Pentecost. And we continue during the octave to celebrate Easter with great solemnity, with great celebration. And so to make sure that you don't end your Easter celebration, but you continue it throughout this week in any way you can. Remember the resurrection. Have some of the things that you gave up. You know, if you gave up sweets or whatever, right? And enjoy some of those things in moderation, of course, but with in a way to celebrate the resurrection. And we celebrate this today with the readings that were given to us for today's Mass. And I just read to you the Gospel that is read at today's daily Mass. And in the Gospel we see Mary Magdalene's deep love for Jesus. You know, that when she discovers that his body is gone, that his tomb is empty, as we heard about on Sunday, she now stays at the tomb and she weeps. We see her weeping at the tomb in today's gospel because she longs to be with Christ and now misses the fact that his body seems to have been taken away. She doesn't realize that he has risen from the dead. And then we see that she encounters Jesus, not knowing it's Jesus. And this is an interesting aspect. In different parts, different places, after Jesus has risen from the dead, people don't recognize him. And it's a reminder that he has risen, body and soul, but his body is now different. A body that's able to go into locked rooms without any trouble, right? And a body that appears different, right? So his body has truly risen, but it's now different. It's a foreshadowing of the fact that our bodies, when they rise, will in fact be our bodies, but they will be transformed. They will be renewed. They'll be different. But we see that when she encounters Jesus, he says to her, "Stop holding on to me, for I have not yet ascended to the Father." It's an interesting aspect, an interesting call from Jesus to stop holding on to him, right? Because we would think, we want to stay close to Christ. We always want to hold him close in our hearts and our lives. But one way of understanding Jesus' response to Mary is to understand that he's inviting Mary to go beyond her previous way of relating to Jesus. That now Jesus has resurrected, and so she is called to relate with him in a different way through the life of the church, right? Because now that Jesus has resurrected from the dead, he will send his power, his life, into the church. And through the church, he will continue to be present to the world. And so he's kind of telling her, stop holding on to the old ways of relating to me. I'm giving you something even better. And it's a reminder that we today have the the gift of Christ through His church in beautiful and profound ways. And we are invited to turn to Jesus. In this time when perhaps you're not able to attend Mass, I still invite you to turn to Jesus and to deepen your love for Him in new ways. Just as Mary Magdalene had to understand her relationship with Christ in different terms, in different ways, we have to continue to grow in understanding how to relate to Jesus. Even in these times when you're not able to come to Mass, Jesus invites you to come close to Him in new and powerful ways. I pray for each of you today that you can celebrate this Easter mystery well. May God bless you all.